Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Luminous 9 Art. My name is Alexis Nicole, and I'd like to formally introduce myself as this is the first video I'll be posting for you all. Some of this may be rocky as I learn the ropes of video and sound editing and incorporate that into my flow as an artist. But if you stick with me, I hope to offer you inspiration, warmth, and a little fun along the way. So let's get into it. I want to start off with discussing some of my goals as an artist, as well as my goals for this channel. Over time, I'd like to see this channel create interest for my work among my viewers, drawing them in to take a closer look at other social medias where I've shared my work, and hopefully leading to regular purchases that can sustain me as an artist full time. However, for now, I'm perfectly content to focus on building a luminous community that inspires and comforts others. I haven't decided what direction the channel might take at this point in the journey. I've toyed with the idea of a version of storytelling, whether it be pertaining to my life experiences, my ideas as an artist, or both. I've also given quite a bit of thought to the tone I want to bring to the table while doing this. I'm certain that I want to be a source of comfort and inspiration for others, but I'm cautious about becoming too falsely positive in a way that's unrealistic. I pride myself on being both real and friendly. And above all else, I want to captivate my viewers and keep them as sort of a family. I haven't ruled out anything as far as my approach at this point, and I'm happy to see where the journey takes me. I'm sure at some point I'll look back on this video and cringe at aspects of my newness, but I think I'll also feel a sense of pride in the community that I've created and the growth that I've experienced. Or at least I hope so. In any case, I'm sure there'll be lots of chatting along the way. I want to shift now to discussing the painting at hand. With this piece, I wanted to do something straightforward but cozy. Something I could quickly execute and edit for the sake of ease with my first video. However, that's not exactly what happened. Shifting to sharing my work online has been a process about 5 years in the making for me. Every time I seemed to be getting into the flow of things, some major disruption would come along in my life and put developing a business from my artwork on the back burner. So to be honest, this video was a labor in just starting somewhere. So that's what I did here. These first captures of this painting were taken on an evening where I was a little stressed with where to begin. There are a lot of aspects of recording that can place somewhat of a natural opposition to the painting process. Anytime you start to really lose yourself in your work, a timer goes off and it's time to restart the camera recording or change its battery. Luckily, my camera has a viewfinder that I can flip around to face me as I paint. This is great for spot checking, making sure I'm still recording and that the camera hasn't died. But regardless, I can't tell you how many times over the years I've tried to record a painting from start to finish, only to lose track of time and discover that my camera hasn't been recording for over 20 minutes. These setbacks used to frustrate me a great deal. But recently, I'm starting to get a handle on setting my timers and abiding by them without disrupting my creative flow. Another aspect of this process that I'm warming up to is painting and editing regularly. You wouldn't know it from the length of this video, but despite only taking roughly 6 hours of actual working time to complete, this painting took me the duration of about a month and a half to finish. One of my goals in becoming a full-time artist is to, well, be able to work on my art full-time. I'm so grateful that my current full-time job, a field I've been in for nearly a decade now, has taught me self-discipline in ways that translate directly into this process. Time is money when it comes to any business, and I certainly recognize that truth when it comes to my artwork. If I can complete a piece more quickly, it means more content for my viewers and customers. But I've spent loads of time ensuring that speed does not sacrifice the quality of my work, as that will always come first in my mind. So let's talk a little bit about my inspiration for this piece. As I briefly touched upon earlier, I wanted to paint something dreamy, atmospheric, and calm. I'm a person that draws deep inspiration from surrealism, science fiction, and philosophy, among other things. And I'd like to think of myself as a sort of ambivert that leads towards introversion. There's always something deep going on in my mind, and I'm always looking for ways to share the luminosity of my thoughts with others, hence the name. When dreaming up this piece, I had an image come to mind of one of those old photos of the moon where it has a face, and that face, as well as the moon itself, is extremely textured. Originally, the idea was to paint just that, floating dimly lit on the semi-turbulent, lonely waters of the night. But as I started painting, that idea grew to feature a lonesome little astronaut, stranded in their own little world of thought, out in this beautiful, endless night, no one to share it with. I'm not sure why such a lonesome concept came to me for my feature piece, but I suspect it has to do with a recurring dream I have whenever I'm placed in a new environment or presented with a new hurdle in life. As a kid, I moved around quite a lot, and every time I'd move, I would dream that I was an astronaut in the lonely void of space, but with all these beautiful planets and concepts surrounding me. The dream is one of many recurring dreams I have, and it's a difficult one to put into words. This painting is an incredibly simplified translation of that dream, but I suppose it's fitting as I navigate the challenge of becoming a full-time artist. I don't expect to gather millions of followers and oodles of support overnight, and for that reason, this is the first small step for man, so to speak. What I mean is, from where I stood just a few weeks ago at the beginning of this process in creating this video, it felt so daunting and new. A barren but beautiful void exploding with the twinkling of possibilities yet to be explored. And thus this concept floated dreamily and comfortingly to the forefront of my thoughts. For now, I feel as though I've given you, my dear friends, the basis of who I am and why I'm here. I'm going to go ahead and leave you in peace to take in the rest of this time lapse and hopefully find some calm and solace from the busy world with this dreamy painting. But before I go, I'd like to encourage you to please leave your feedback below. I'd love to know what you think and feel as you watch this unfold. As always, if you feel moved to see more of my content from here forward, I would be so happy to have you. Together, we'll find a cozy, gently lit space and make it our own. I wish you a peaceful day or night wherever you are, and happy watching.